Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Student Environmental Action Showcase. Happy Earth Day. My name is Kurt Moser, and I'm the co-chair of the SEAS event and with Nova Outside. And on behalf of Nova Outside and the SEAS team, I want to welcome you to this year's Student Environmental Action Showcase. For those of you that are attending via Zoom, I hope you'll let us know where you're attending from in the chat. Before we get underway with our program, I'd just like to acknowledge the sponsors we have for today's event. I'd first like to acknowledge Earth Force, and which is the organizer of the Caring for Our Watersheds contest. And Earth Force has a whole group of sponsors that have been great supporters for the showcase over many years, including Nutrien and the Land Family Foundation and others. I'd also like to acknowledge the Fairfax County Federation of Teachers, also a longtime SEAS sponsor, and they have sponsored awards for SEAS, which we'll be announcing around lunchtime. And I'd also like to thank George Mason University because both the Office of Sustainability and the Potomac Environmental Research and Education Center, Mason has been a tremendous partner over the years. And when we've had the in-person events, they have been on the Mason campus in Fairfax. So we are very grateful for Mason's involvement in SEAS this year and every year. And then I'd especially like to thank the Community Foundation of Northern Virginia and the Environment Fund for sponsoring SEAS. Community Foundation has been a tremendous partner over all the years that we've had SEAS events. And then lastly, I'd like to acknowledge that we had a great planning team this year. A large group of people. I won't acknowledge everyone by name, but I would like to especially thank my co-chair, Elizabeth Spike, and our event coordinator, Dylan Persinger. We've had a tremendous year planning this event, and we are excited to bring it to you. And in just another minute or two, we'll get started with our keynote presenters. I would like to just, by way of initial introduction, I'd like to say that I had the good fortune to meet both of these young women a couple of years ago when they were both at Wakefield High School, and they worked with my organization, the 4 Mile Run Conservatory Foundation at 4 Mile Run. But I will have them tell you a little more about that. It is my pleasure this morning, and I should say, before I introduce them, if we do have little technical glitches, bear with us. We'll try to get everything straightened out. The technology is still a little daunting, especially when for me, I've got a couple of screens running. But I'd like to just introduce our speakers today. They'll tell you a little bit more about themselves. We have Natalia Urro de Leon and Ella Gerkshiden. Natalia and Ella, please take it away.
Thank you so much for that great introduction, Kurt. I couldn't have imagined a better one. Good morning, everyone. Happy Earth Day. Thank you so much for being here, and a big thank you to everyone who has helped make this event possible. My name is Natalia.
My name is Ella Gekchidem, and we are super excited to be today's keynote speakers. So Natalia and I, as Kurt mentioned, we are recent graduates of Wakefield High School from the class of 2020. However, we did not forget our middle school years as well.
Moving on, to start this wonderful discussion, we would really like you to take a moment of reflection to reflect upon the age, the time you were in your life when you first became really aware of the severe, urgent environmental issues that exist at this moment. So climate change, environmental justice, pollution. Do you feel that age is fair? Do you feel like does that have any emotions with that age to you? Does it make you angry that you were so young, or frustrated that it was all the more too recent? I really urge you guys to remind yourselves that no matter what age you are, that awareness, no matter what age, is progress, especially for our young middle schoolers. Ella and I understand the overwhelming sense of powerlessness that comes with this awareness. I remember I was about your age when I first heard this term global warming. I was really confused and sort of overwhelmed. I willingly threw myself into this rabbit hole. It was through Google and YouTube search bars that I was able to sort of make sense of all these distant and sort of confusing environmental issues. But then at the same time, you have this sort of overwhelming sense of powerlessness when you learn about these problems and issues. How was I, a middle schooler at the time, going to do anything about it? How was I going to help resolve all of them? Then, with that sense of powerlessness and fear, it was and is frustrating, sort of seeing adults and leaders sort of struggle and tiptoe around such issues that will literally determine the quality of our inherited planet, especially since we're the next generation. It's so easy to let such negative thoughts overwhelm you. It's so easy to feel powerless. But resolving such challenges really does demand your energy, effort, and above all, initiative. This is how you become and sustain the change. It took us a while to figure out our role in bringing about change within our communities. It wouldn't be until we reached high school that we'd really be able to sort of understand this formula that we have up here. It takes your understanding and your awareness of these issues, which is awareness. It takes your passion and commitment to help resolve them. That's your drive. And of course, above all, it takes you. It's your skills and your own unique qualities that will help you translate all of this into meaningful, sustainable action and change. When I was going into my junior year, me and my friend Clara, we started volunteering with Arlington County doing stream monitoring. And it was through this really cool program that we were able to firsthand see the aquatic life of Arlington County, see the pollution as well. And that was one of the most disturbing and uncomfortable experiences, having to confront the reality and the severity of this problem, even in my own community. It was thankfully through other fellow volunteers that we were able to get connected with Kurt Moser, the president of 4 Mile Run Conservatory Foundation, and turn this awareness and drive into something beautiful. And that was, of course, these kayak stream cleanups. And this is where my qualities and my skills were able to translate into not only advocacy and awareness about these issues, but into engagement with my fellow classmates at Wakefield and the greater community. It was through my journalism class that I took my senior year. I was really able to hone in on my video editing skills and create these awesome videos for my classmates, really just to bring focus and attention to environmental issues that were concerning me. And I know that were on their minds as well. So recycling, fast fashion, how to combat it through thrifting, ecos in action, our work on the stream, of course. And we also did a bottle cap mural, which I spearheaded in my senior year as one of my projects as president of that club. And we were able to create this beautiful mural that you see on the bottom right-hand side. All the bottle caps that you see, it was over like 200. We had collected them from all the stream cleanups we did and a campus cleanup. So it was really cool to be able to showcase the work, but also the issue at hand that we were trying to address and mitigate. So like I said, we were able to turn this program into something beautiful, from small groups of friends into a greater group, and ever so increasing group of volunteers who are really excited to get on the stream and help improve and restore the quality of our local waterway, 4 Mile Run, to its majesty. So as you can see, we're all out there for a land-based cleanup in like January. It was pretty cold, but I was so happy to see so many students and friends of mine out on the stream helping us bring about this change that I know we all were eager to participate in. So just remember that as soon as you take that first step, there are people who are willing to help you get to the next one and are willing to take that next step with you. Ella, how old were you when you became aware of these issues?
Thanks for asking, Natalia. I believe I was around 6 years old, and my interest in sustainability happened all the way across the world in my hometown in Turkey called Afşa. It's a small island in the Marmara Sea, and I spent most of my time underwater observing the marine life because there really wasn't anything else to do. There was no internet on the island at the time. So as I spent most of my summers just in the water observing the fishes, as I grew up, I started noticing a decrease in fish population and an increase in plastic pollution. This was really frustrating for me because as a little girl, I really wasn't sure how to combat this issue, but I sure did have a lot of awareness. And once I entered high school, I was able to change this awareness into actual tangible change. So again, when I entered high school, I was able to foster my passion for sustainability through entrepreneurship. I was able to create my own business called ePro Technologies, of which I created my own wireless earbuds made out of recycled plastic. So I was able to get this personal connection with plastic pollution from my hometown in Turkey and literally integrate it into my business. This allowed me to stand out from the other competitors, but alongside this, I was able to inspire other entrepreneurs to do the same because I showed them it was attainable to connect something like as so sustainable into a field where you wouldn't really think that it would be that prevalent. And as I kept advancing, I was able to encourage other students in Arlington to do the same and also encourage other entrepreneurs across the nation and teach them how to integrate sustainability into their venture without hurting their profits and also making sure it's the same experiences as beforehand. And through my affiliation with NIFTY, the organization I went through, I was able to also work with two other organizations that are relevant to today's talk. One is called This Is Zero Hour, of which you may have heard of already because they organized the global youth climate strikes in 2019, and more specifically the DC Youth Climate Strike, which you may have attended, as you can see in this picture here. And I serve as the director of finance for this organization. So I was able to bring my passion for entrepreneurship and finance and also bring it into the climate space. So I really want to emphasize that no matter what field you want to go into in terms of career, whether you want to be a pediatrician, a doctor, a lawyer, or a politician, there will always be a way for you to integrate sustainability because one, it's becoming more of an urgent issue. And two, as long as you're authentically passionate about it, I guarantee you'll find a way to integrate it as well. And another organization I work with is called Earth Echo International, and they're a youth environmental education organization, and they mainly work with water conservation. Through this organization, I was able to interview numerous congressmen, such as Congressman Donald McEachin of Hampton, Virginia, and to talk about their climate action plans and how they plan on using youth voices in developing these plans and also involving communities in terms of climate mitigation systems. And I want to show you guys a little example of a program that Earth Echo gives out. It's called the R Echo Challenge, and it basically brings middle school students from across the nation to pitch environmental solutions that these students notice in their communities, and they could pitch it in a business pitch setting, and we're able to give them funding and give them a platform to advertise their solution. So I want to showcase these three students. They're called Team Crayfish, and they're from Illinois. So they noticed that their pond was having a decrease in biodiversity because of an increase in crayfish species. And crayfish are very invasive in multiple aquatic regions, and specifically in Illinois, they're really hurting the pond near their middle school. So these students simultaneously were also able to notice that their local food shelter, their animal shelter, was running out of food. They're going through a food shortage. So these completely different issues, they're able to connect it by thinking of freeze-drying these crayfish, donating them to the animal shelter, and simultaneously creating change. So every day after school, these three students went to their pond, picked up the crayfish, and with the help of their teacher, they were able to freeze dry them and donate it to the animal shelters. So they were able to solve the food shortage and also help the biodiversity of their pond. So once they presented this product, like this organization in a way, to Earth Echo, we were able to give them $10,000 to fulfill this project and also grow it. And I really want to emphasize that these students don't have PhDs. They haven't even entered high school yet. They just simply saw an issue within their community, and they had the drive and the ambition and the passion to run towards it and also tackle it. And they did it quite successfully. And I really want to emphasize that you can do this too, and there's nothing from stopping you from doing this as well. So today on Earth Day, we encourage you to just step outside, take a few hours, look around, think, what is going on in my environment? Is it prosperous? Is there issues? Maybe you could think of some solutions. And we guarantee you that once you find the right people and create your own community, you'll be able to create tangible change. So thank you so much, and happy Earth Day.